1992, the Soviet Union is still falling apart. The Republic of Georgia is created. In 1992, Bush the Elder goes into Somalia after the United Nations recommends America to do so.
U.S. troops to the African nation of Somalia. Their mission will be to make sure that food gets through to millions of Somalis in danger of starving to death. So far, armed gangs have been stealing most of the aid. The United Nations Security Council approved military intervention last evening, and other nations will be contributing to the U.S.-led force. CBS News correspondent Dan Rather is heading up our coverage in Somalia. He arrived in Mogadishu a short time ago.
We're at the airport in Mogadishu, Somalia. Just as our plane came in, at the end of this runway, there was a firefight between Pakistani troops under the UN flag who try to keep the airport secure and one of the roving gangs that from time to time fire on the Pakistani troops. It's just an indication of how much chaos and anarchy, how much uncertainty there is in a country with no government, no police force, lawless society. This is the kind of environment that the U.S. troops will be moving into. Questions abound, not so much about will it be easy getting in, almost everybody thinks it will. Questions have to do with how long will the operation last, what indeed is the operation designed to do, can it grow from its original inception, its original intent, to be something more than just supplying food to the starving. A lot of questions, very few answers. Dan Rather.
Relief groups called for outside troops to provide security so they could feed people. It's now clear that military support is necessary to ensure the safe delivery of the food Somalis need to survive. I have today told Secretary General Boutros Ghali that America will answer the call. I have given the order to Secretary Cheney to move a substantial American force into Somalia.
Today, food is flowing, crops are growing, schools and hospitals are reopening. Although there is still much to be done if enduring peace is to prevail, one can now envision a day when Somalia will be reconstructed as a functioning civil society.
In 1992, Rodney King is beat up, and the police that did it got away with it.
People, I just want to say, you know, can we all get along?
The population of Los Angeles, especially the black population, engage in riots that happen for the next 6 days.
1991, a 25-year-old Rodney King is seen on grainy amateur video being repeatedly beaten, kicked, and clubbed by Los Angeles Police Department officers. The footage quickly seared a guilty verdict in the public's mind of police brutality and racism.
We, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant, Lawrence M. Powell, not guilty of the crime of assault.
So, when a mostly white jury acquitted the officers a year later, it sparked outrage and deadly riots around the nation.
David, we're going to go back to you now over South Central. David Jackson. That violent.
The resources to ensure that the hoodlums out there, the gangsters, are not going to be able to tear the insecurity that the people of Los Angeles deserve and want.
And of course, as you heard over the last half hour, President Bush has authorized some 1,000 federal law enforcement officers, such as Border Patrol agents in the
nature of that, but that hasn't been called for yet. However, you know, this afternoon it was discussed at the hospitals that we would be ready to gear up because we could have busy evenings.
Are you working in conjunction with any of the other hospitals?
Well, not right now.
You can handle everything that you have there at the moment. Is that right?
Yes, that's right.
Well, Mary, just give me an idea of what some of the injuries you're seeing are. I mean, how many have people come in, and what are you seeing? Just a general idea.
We're seeing people with cuts from broken glass all the way to people that have been severely beaten.
Now, she gets back up and gets into the car, but then someone's being attacked from the other side.
Mr. Reiner earlier tonight called these people thugs. I suspect he's right on the money.
And you made a good point, too, when you said that there are people of every color and every race who will...
There you can see a lot of people drove up the intersection, saw what was going on, and just turned around and got out of the area. Now, this is probably one of the worst incidents we've seen all night. You see this Bronco here. People surrounded the car. They dragged the driver out.
And beat him bloody. The poor guy never had a chance.
At one point, somebody stepped in there and helped him out of there. I'm wondering...
We took a bullet to Hoover. That whole area is up. We're in a safe area out of the freeway right now. 06, check in on the radio. What's going on? Unit on Century and Hoover.
Taping yet? Hey, Jeremy. Yeah. You can document this night.
All right, go with guys. in Normandy. To ensure that the gangsters are not going to be able to tear the insecurity that the people of Los Angeles deserve and want.
And of course, as you heard over the last half hour, President Bush has authorized some 1,000 federal law enforcement officers, such as Border Patrol agents in the